Which class interval? Say that 65 to 9, 69.
65 to 69.
And then what else? Okay, enough. Archana, can you add to it? What else you have? We can see.
Sir.
What else you can add? So when data only is there, we can say which is the lowest score. If it is a ascending order thing, we can say which one is lowest, which one is highest. Otherwise, if it is not as arranged, then it is very little bit difficult. We have to find it. The repeated things we can say, repeat which scores are repeated. That one we can say. So if you arrange this, still we have little bit frequency, a little bit more freedom to say many little more things. So data is organized under a class of five of interval 5. So that's what we have seen, class interval. So with a class interval 5, we have 11 classes, and you can see that, see how beautifully the data is coming. See starting from the lowest class, which is 40 to 44, where the frequency is 2. See the frequency slowly increases, and it comes to a level of 11, and then it slowly decreases. See, like this only we have to describe. Data speaks to you. You have to try to speak. You have identified that one class has got highest frequency, but there is an order. You see the order. Say starting from the lowest class 40 to 44, if you go to the highest class 90 to 94, the data, it is being increased, and it comes a highest peak in 65 to 69, and afterwards it is getting decreased. After that it is getting decreased. Okay, so this data is very beautiful. You will be getting a normal probability curve like this. But anyway, that we will be learning little later. So at least you can see, and there is a particular class in which 11 people are in 65 to 69, which means the average performance. 90 and 80 and all, it is high performance. 45, 49 and all, it is the low performance, poor performance. But in this class, 11 students have been in the average performance. See, like this, you keep a little bit, you can add. Therefore, as such data, we may not see much thing about the data if it is spread over like this. But if it is being tabulated and bit organized, you can say much more things. And what if many statistics like mean, median, mode are there, then we can know about the data much more. So starting from this class, statistics are being added to our knowledge. Okay, so the last class, it was only how we are framing a tabular column, frequency distribution table, and now we are going a little bit further about the data. We want to know about the data, and we have three things in today's class, and those three things are mean, median, and mode. And these three statistics, and last class we know there are four meanings for statistics. What are those? What are the four meanings for Devadarshini?
Sir.
What are the four meanings for the word statistics?
Sir, for that, Tate have tell something, so it's all perfectly clear by computing statistics. From statistics and by statistics, sir. That is from me and data and formula.
Okay, data itself is called as statistics. Formula itself is called as statistics. Then
and U, sir.
The symbol itself is also a statistics. The formulas, symbols. Okay. The last one, the subject itself is called as statistics.
Yes, sir.
Some more your answer. Okay. So now in today's class we are concentrated on these three statistics only: mean, median, and mode. And what is the common among the three? What is the commonality? of the three? Just you can see, you can say answer is before you.
Central tendency.
Yes, central tendency. What do you mean by central tendency? What is a central? What do you mean by central? Suppose if you want to divide your data and if you put a line as like my cursor is going there. Okay, my cursor is going there. I have to take pen tablets. Just a moment, please. If you want to divide the data and if you put a line across this as like this, and what is on the left hand side? Yes, tell me what is on the left hand side. Left hand side we have 50% of the data, and what is on the right hand side?
The remaining 50%.
Another 50%. Like this question we should not ask. If left hand side has possessed 50% of the data, naturally right hand side will possess 50% of the data, then our question is not a right. We cannot ask these questions because we are giving a clue. Okay. So this is 50% and this is 50% of the data. And what about this line called as? This is the center. This is the center. In road also we'll be having something at the center. What do you call that? Something in the road. Suppose you are traveling in a road, there will be something at the center. What do you call that?
Divider.
Very good. Divider. Yes, divider. What is another name for this divider? One more name is there. Divider is correct. Another name is fantastic name that coincides with the statistics. Another name is median. Median. Okay. So it's a place where it divides the data into two equal halves. And these three data, the common thing, the commonality among three statistics is it says about the central part of the data. It says only about the central part. Hence, these measures are called measures of central tendency. These data will not say about completely. This data will not say about yes. This data will not say about the scores at the terminal end. This data will not say about it. The scores at the lower end, the scores at the high end. Those and all it cannot be known by this data. And known by these measures. Measures of central tendency will only tell about measures at the central parts, and these parts. Hence, we call these measure sets. Yes. Hence, we call these measure sets measures of
Central tendency.
yes. Since it describes only the central part of the data, it is called as measures of central tendency. There are other statistics from which we can know about the end part, the lower end and higher end. There are some other statistics, but from these measures we can know only about the central part of the data, and that we call it as mean, median, mode. And today we'll going for it. Mean, median, and mode. What is it? How to calculate? And the comparison among the three measures, mean, median, and mode. That's what our aim. Okay, this is the definition for central tendency. The point at which the data accumulates is the central point of data. The statistic that reflects the central location of the distribution is called as measures of central tendency. That's what we have seen. There are three examples for this: mean, median, and mode. And side by you have the representation: mean, median, and mode. That's what we are using in our throughout our discussion. MEMO. So now we are going from mean. So this is the definition. What you see is the definition. So what do you mean by mean? Means the result obtained by adding all the numbers in the data and divided by number of numbers or number of data. Total number of data is called mean. So we have the example. Simple example. So on the right side, you can see the example. We have 5 data. Just add all those, divide by total number of data. That is what the capital N, or otherwise number of samples. As like in reliability, we said no, N is the number of sample. So summation X, add all the data divided by 5, you will be getting 3. And what is 3? What is this called as?
Median.
A mean. We didn't go for median. And this is not the way to calculate median. If you go this, then that is called as mean only. Even for this data, median may be the same. Answer is one and the same for median also. But the way we calculated it is tells only about the mean, not the median. Okay. So this is the mean of our data. Okay, this is the easiest way. And how to calculate the median for our data? This data. How to calculate mean for this data?
You have to take average.
Yes. Kavya, how to calculate mean for this data?
Sir, adding all the values divided by total number of values.
Very good. Why you are not telling this? Have I to call you every day, every class? You can answer
No,
by
sir.
yourself. When you call, just answer. How can I know?
Okay, sir.
Okay. It's very good. See, add all the numbers divided by 56, I think. Yes. Total number is 56, I hope. Add all the numbers divided by 56, you will get the mean. That is why, that is how you calculate mean. Now even computer can also do this, but in olden days, now whenever before inventing calculator, before inventing computer, that time the people, if the data 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, if the data is going that much, then addition and dividing it will be very difficult. How to do it? So that is why our frequency distribution table helps. If you have more number of data, then how to go for the calculation? Even some computers after this, it is also calculating via frequency distribution table. Okay, it is computing via frequency distribution table. That's what we are going to see now. So what this way of calculating mean is called as raw mean, or otherwise not going via a frequency distribution table. A calculation, this answer is also correct. But what if you have more number of data, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and then adding like this everything? By this time, many of us will leave the course. If I ask you to calculate mean of 3,000 data, then that's all. Half of our student, they will leave the course. Okay, all the adding all those things and dividing by 2,000, it will be difficult for us. Therefore, what we have to do is, if we are going for mean, then it is very good that we can form a frequency distribution table. From the frequency distribution table, it is very easy for us to calculate mean, even though if we have more number of data. So how to do that? That is what now we are going to see. So now it is mean calculation using the table frequency distribution. Okay, that's what I am going to do now, and this is the formula for it. So if you want to calculate mean, so you have to calculate by this formula, which is called as mean, which is equal to AM plus summation of fx dash by n into I. Let us go to each detail. So before that, can you tell me how many data you want to know to calculate mean. How many number of data you want to know to calculate mean? Just tell me a number. 5 data, 6 data, 7 data. How many data you got to know to calculate mean?
Minimum 2, sir.
No, using this formula, how many? Four. So the one is assumed mean you have to know, and then x dash you have to know, n you have to know, I you have to know. If you know these 4 things, then you can calculate mean. So am I correct? This is what I am asking. If you know these 4 values, then you can calculate assumed mean. Okay, then now let me go into detail of the 4. EAM is called as assumed mean. We have to assume a mean, then that is called as assumed mean. The name itself tells the story. A mean which is being assumed, then that is called as assumed mean. Okay. Then n is total number of data or total number of sample or whatever. That's what we tell. Total sample, total number of data. N. I. It is class interval. So last class we know how to calculate I. What is that? Can you tell that how to calculate I? Liana, how to calculate I? What it is? Class. Okay. Shall I mute it? Yes. Dear students, please excuse me just for 5 minutes. Just for a moment, please. To know, and those 4 things are this. From here we will assume the mean. A mean we have to assume. So the mean which is being assumed, that is called as assumed mean. And then n is total number, and I. This is where we were. Okay. What is the formula for class interval? Just tell me. Last class we were discussing. Class interval is equal to real upper limit minus
Real lower limit, sir.
real, very good. Real upper limit minus many of you have not done or what, I do not know. You have to answer many of. So frequency is the number of counts. So x dash is the deviation of midpoint of each class from assumed mean in terms of. Okay. So one by one we will do it. And they have given formula for x dash also. So I'll discuss it one by one. Okay, this you know to calculate the range. Range is equal to highest score minus lowest score. That is R. So now we will be going to calculate. See here, as we have discussed earlier, there are 11 students who has got in the average, and the class which has highest frequency, that is called as assumed mean class. So we have 5 classes, and the class which has got highest number of frequency. So which has got highest number of frequency? 65 to 69. That is the class which has got highest number of frequency. And what do you call that class? This class is called as assumed mean class. Remaining all and all we have to call simply as class. Only that class which has got highest frequency, that is called as assumed mean class. And the midpoint of this class is assumed mean. So the central point of this class, no? All the central point, no, we will denote by the letter S, capital S. The center point of the class is denoted by the letter capital S. and that capital X is called the midpoint of the class. Okay, right? Okay. See that X of assumed mean class is it is the assumed mean itself. See, to calculate true mean, before calculating, we have to assume some data as the mean. And how to assume that? Always go to the class which has got more number of frequency. And the midpoint of that class is assumed mean. So that is the first assumption here. And by that we will build. Okay. So see here now we are going for the calculation. So you know x dash is equal to capital X minus assumed mean divided by I. What is this capital X called as? Yes. Just now I told it is midpoint of a class. Capital X is midpoint of any class, and that is called as X, midpoint of any class. So X dash is equal to midpoint of any class minus the assumed mean divided whole divided by I. That is a way to calculate X dash. The third column. So we'll go further. X is midpoint of a class. How to calculate midpoint is the real upper limit plus real lower limit by divided by 2. So we'll see an example. That is midpoint formula is this. What is the formula for I? How to calculate I is equal to real upper limit minus real lower limit. That is the formula for I, class interval. Okay, I have taken the highest class, 90 to 94. So the real upper limit, you know, and the last class we were telling, which is the real upper limit and which is the real lower limit. So for that class, 94.5 is the real upper limit and 89.5 is the real lower limit. See, add those two things, divide it by 2, you will be having the midpoint of that class, which is 92. Okay. What is the midpoint of 85 to 89? Yes.
87, sir.
Very good. 87. So what is the midpoint of 65 to 69?
67, sir.
67. Very good. By telling it is very easy because it is a midpoint. But the real way is you have to calculate like this on the right hand side. Real upper limit plus the real lower limit divided by 2. That is the way to calculate. Okay. Right. And what is the another name for this 67? One is the midpoint. What is the another name for this 67?
Assumed mean.
Very good. That is the assumed mean. Assumed mean is the midpoint of the class which is having highest number of frequency. Therefore, this is the assumed mean class, and the central point of assumed mean class is the assumed mean itself. Okay, right. You know how to find X for every class. This is 92 for the highest class and 87 for the next class and 82 for the third class, 77 for the, like that it goes on. That is the way to find. Now you got to know how to find the capital X. Assumed mean is equal to X of the assumed mean class, which is the 67 itself. Okay. Now you know to find assumed mean we found. Now we have to calculate. Let us calculate X dash for the first class, 90 to 94. Okay. So that is equal to X we know 92 for that first class, and assumed mean is 67. 92 minus 67 divided by 5, which is equal to 5 itself, which means that this is 25 by 5 equal to 5. So let us calculate for the second class. What is the X? X for the second class? 87 minus what is the assumed mean? Let's tell me.
67.
67 divided by 5. Yes, answer 20 by 5, which is equal to 4. Like this only it will be coming. It is very easy to put 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here it is 67 minus 67, therefore it is 0. Down below it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Okay, let us calculate for 60 to 64. For that class 60 to 64, it is 62 minus 67 divided by 5. It is minus 5 by 5. It is equal to minus 1. So just seemingly it is very easy. Start from the 5, take it as center 0. The top it will be coming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bottom it will be going minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Seemingly it will be easy, but you have to follow this procedure to calculate assumed mean. For every assumed mean is only one. To calculate x dash for every class. Okay, this is the way to calculate x dash. The rest is easy. That's all. The next is C. You know x dash for every class. The last one summation. Just sum it. You sum all these things, then you'll be having summation f. Okay, the next is f x dash. So you know the frequency, you know x dash. Just multiply those two things, you'll be having f x dash. 2 into 5, 10. 2 into 4, 8. Like this, you keep multiplying, you'll be having all those things. Okay. At last it is addition. It is, if you add it, then you'll be getting summation fx dash. It is nothing but 4. Now come to right part of the last slide. M is equal to assumed mean plus summation fx dash divided by n into class interval. I have to put smaller I. This is capital I, this is smaller I. So we know assumed mean is 67. Summation fx dash is 4. We have calculated here. 4 divided by total number of sample. Total number of sample is 56. So 4 divided by 56 into 5. So that comes around 0.36, and the total. This is the true mean. 0.76 we have to add. Sorry, 0.36 we have to add. This is the true. So this is. I'll stop with this, but I'll summarize how to calculate mean for a grouped data. Raw data is very easy. Calculation raw data is just add all the numbers and divided by total numbers, you'll be getting mean for raw numbers. If it is a group data, you have to go for this calculation. We have to assume the one data as assumed mean and calculate x dash, multiply with frequency, summation fx dash by n into I. You add this part to the assumed mean, you will be getting the true mean. So for that you have to know 4 data, assumed mean, x dash, n and I. So this is how it has to be calculated. The midpoint of the assumed mean class is the assumed mean itself. And how to calculate midpoint is, it is a real upper limit plus real lower limit divided by 2. So that is how to calculate the midpoint for every class. And we have shown how it has been calculated of capital X. And assumed mean class capital X is assumed mean itself. And by this you can calculate x dash for each class. Whether you are if you are forming a frequency distribution table, whether you are calculating or not, the central it will be always 0 and the top it will be going like this only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and bottom minus 1, minus 2. But we should know how this data is come. And after that, go for fx dash, x dash multiplied by frequency, and at last the summation. And entering all that value, we will be having the mean. Okay.